Hey playa, in this live stream, I'm going to be sharing why giving up on your crush is the very best thing that you can do. Now, for those of you that are new here, my name is Josh. Every single week, I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories teaching you how to be your best self. So, as walk through the different points in this video, why giving up on your crush is the best thing for you to do, I want you to be super interactive in the chat. It's going to be an interactive live stream as they always are. I want to get your feedback. I'm going to be hosting different chat polls, asking questions, and I want you to answer in the chat and be interactive. Also, there's going to be other people that have questions. If I don't get to them, feel free to spark of a conversation and talk to them as well. Now, I see a bunch of you guys are in here saying hi. I want to give shout outs to the early birds that are here on the live stream. This video is going to be broken down into 4 different points, so I'm going to walk you through those 4 points. Once the video is done, I'm going to have the timestamps up, so if you want to watch the replay and hear specific answers I give to specific questions, you can always feel free to do that. So if you're watching the live stream right now, say hi in the chat for your shout out. Let's start right here. Killjoy, what is up? Kick-Ass Bill, TV and Sin, Drew Menk, Tristan with 7K VR, Junior Garcia, G Delgado, Benji Leon Ginger, Poppy, Cody Castellanos, Kick-Ass Bill, Air Mattress Hazard, Blue Riders. Oh, they're all coming in, guys. Let's see if I can catch up with the chat. Wisdom Gatekeeper, Rick the best. Gamer Views. Who did I miss? Anthony, good to see you, man. Anthony Rivas, Ash's Trash, Nameless Spiral, Scrub Lord, Emma Peterson, what is up? Shadows, Kid Goten, Samuel Cox, G Delgado, Kick-Ass Bella said, Simpsons, Sal Smith, Scrub Lord, Evan Y, Zine, Boy, Dylan, Closeout, man, a bunch of you guys here. Donna the Gamer, awesome to see you here too. Sonic Mania Plus Forces, Olivia Ramirez, Sidekick DJ, Bonkface. I think I got most of you here. Malcolm Hope, what is up, everyone that's in here? So, like I said, in this live stream, I'm going to be sharing something a little bit differently. Now, normally people are asking me, Josh, what can I do to win over my crush? What can I do to get my crush's attention? How do I get closer to my crush? Today, we're going to kind of flip that around, and I want to explore why actually letting go of your crush might be the best thing for you to do. Now, a lot of people think, well, why would I want to let go of my crush? If I like them, I want to build something with them. So why would I ever think about distancing myself from them? Well, I'm going to kind of go into detail and explain why that would be a good thing. As I break it down, guys, I want to get into the very first point here and explain why I think letting go of your crush is a good thing. The first point I'm going to share with you here is that your crush may not be based on who you best connect with. So let's explore that a little bit more. Now, I've been in this situation tons and tons of times. I've had crushes on so many people over the years growing up, and I can't really say that my crushes were on people that I had a deep, profound connection with. A lot of them were just on girls that I thought was attractive, or girls that I saw that were popular and I was intrigued by them in some kind of way, or girls that I knew I could never go out with and I just developed a crush on them for that reason alone. Sometimes when we develop crushes on people, we develop crushes on people that are unattainable, people that we're probably never going to ask out, or we can never act on, or just nothing can ever come from it. And a lot of times when we develop those type of crushes, what ends up happening is that person gets seated in our minds, and we're constantly thinking about them. We're constantly stressing about, what do I do if I run into them? What do I do if I talk to them? How can I ever make it work? You start to come up with dream scenarios of how you and that crush can ever potentially go out. And a big problem with that is that that this person isn't someone that you can develop a deep connection with. Or even worse, here's another scenario that a lot of people run into. You like someone that in getting to know them, that the two of you don't have anything in common, that it would never really work, but you still like them anyway. Now, I want to jump to a quick chat poll because I want to ask you guys in this chat. I think it's going to be super effective to have your answers here. Have you ever had a crush on someone that you couldn't go out with? Let's get a yes thumbs up in here or a no thumbs down, guys. I'm curious, have you ever had a crush on someone that you knew you just would never go out with? Like I said, I've been in that situation tons and tons of times. It happens. Now, the problem, like I said, is that you start to think about that person a lot. You start to stress about them a lot. You start to worry about them a lot. And it's not good for your own sense of well-being. Now, here's what you guys are saying in here. I asked, have you ever had a crush on someone that you knew you wouldn't go out with? Lucas says yes. Cody says yes. Slayer says yeah. TV and Sin says yes. Tristan says yes lots of times. Ethan Bridges says, hey man, love your videos. Just want to ask, is it bad that I'm 18 years old and never had a girlfriend? Ethan, that's a good question. I'll answer in a second. Scrublord says yes. Simpsons, thumbs up. Awesome Gaming, thumbs up. A lot of yeses. Closeout says no. Jason says no. A lot of yeses in here. Thumbs up. Cody says right now is going through it. Phoenix says yes, mate. It almost worked. Michael Pro says no. There's a few no's in there. Anthony says big oof. Samuel Cox says no, but I have one. I have one now, and I've never felt this way before. Interesting, Samuel. Interesting. Sonic Mania says yes because my previous crush had a boyfriend. That could always throw a wrench in the mix. Dono says yes. Jose says me like smelling me like smelling crushed chair. That's a bit weird. Nija, good to see you in here. The question was, have you ever had a crush on someone that you knew you just wouldn't ever go out with? Now, like I said, one reason why you may want to give up your crush is because you see that there's nothing that can develop between the two of you, right? And when you cling on to a relationship that you know can never go anywhere, you spend a lot of time and mental energy thinking about this person, worrying about them, wanting to be with them. And what ends up happening is that you end up shutting out other opportunities around you. And we're gonna go deeper into that in this live stream, but you end up shutting out a lot of opportunities because you're holding out for that one person. So let's take a scenario that someone mentioned here. You have a crush on, Sonic Mania mentioned, you have a crush on a girl, but she has a boyfriend, right? So in that situation, you're constantly thinking about it. Well, how can I become closer friends with her? How can I ask her out? Should I wait until she breaks up with her boyfriend and then ask her out? You know, like there's all these different thoughts running through your mind, and you're just constantly focusing on them day after day, knowing that that relationship isn't going to go anywhere. Now, someone asked the question earlier, I forgot who, but someone asked, I'm 18 years old. I've never had a girlfriend. Is that okay? Here's my honest opinion on that. I think it's totally fine if you haven't ever had a girlfriend at 18. You have to understand, everyone is learning and growing at different paces. Some people have relationships when they're 13 or 14. Some people have relationships when they're 20 or 21 or 25 or 30 even. I think ultimately it's important to not compare yourself to other people. Don't use other people's processes as your standard and your metric. Ideally, what you should focus most on is, are you presenting yourself in a way that is attractive to people, is inviting to people, is like in a way that people want to spend time around you and get to know you better? Because if you're not, then those are the things you might want to work on first before you think about getting a girlfriend, right? First, you want to be the most personable person you can be, and then you can worry about getting a girlfriend. So O'Donnell says, I don't know what the question was. So yeah. So like I said, so we tend to concoct these situations in our minds. We tend to create these ideas that, hey, maybe if things were different, it can work out between us. If things were different, we can go out someday. But the truth is that, you're really missing out on so many other opportunities, because when you're so focused on one person, you tend to neglect other people that you can talk to or other people you can ask out, or you tend to focus less on yourself or less on the things that you like, and you just really, really zone in on that one person. So I'll tell you guys a quick story. When I was in high school, there was a girl that I liked, right? It's really hot in here. There was a girl that I really liked. I got totally friend zoned by her. If you've ever been in that situation, you ever got friend zoned, guys, put a hand emoji just to let me know that I'm not alone and you've gotten friend zoned. You've been there before. So girl totally friend zoned me, but I still wanted to go out with her. I still held out hope. I thought the more I talk to her, the more I'm around her, the friendlier I am to her, maybe she'll change her mind, right? And in that process, I think it was maybe 6 months or a year or whatever it was that I was just totally obsessed with her. I didn't really talk to any other girls. I didn't really get to know any other people. I didn't really put myself out there. I had boxed myself in on this one specific crush, holding out for her. And guess what? It didn't work out for me, right? At the end of the day, she still only saw me as a friend, and that's all it ended up being. I see a lot of hands in here, guys. Thank you. I'm not alone. It's important to know that. And it's important for you guys to know that you're not alone either. Phoenix says, got friend zoned this March, Josh. Low key, it sucks. Yep, getting friend zoned. Oh, he retracted. Getting friend zoned definitely sucks, man. I totally get where you're coming from. I've been there so many times, man. It's not a good spot to be in. But it's a spot that happens, right? Sometimes you like someone, they don't like you back, and they only see you as a friend. So it's just something for you to kind of think about how you're presenting yourself to other people. Maybe you're presenting yourself in a way that's too friendly or too kind or isn't showing a romantic side of yourself. I want to see what some of you guys have to say. If you've ever been in a situation like that before, sound off in the chat right now. I'm going to see what some of you guys are saying in here. Zero Phoenix says, I don't believe in the friend zone. Yep, Zero, I get what you're saying. There's a lot of like, oh, friend zone doesn't exist if you don't allow it to. I totally get that. When I use the term friend zone, what I mean by that is that you are close with someone that you don't particularly think that any type of romantic relationship can develop. So being in the friend zone with someone simply means that you enjoy talking to them, you enjoy their company, but there's no acting on any kind of sexual momentum or sexual tension. You guys may flirt with each other, you may joke around about that, but never acting on it, I would say, puts you in that type of friend zone, is how I'm defining the word. Let's see. Poppy says, Josh, so I'm going to middle school and I've not talked to this girl in a year because I had to switch schools, but we were best. You were best friends. So yeah, so to answer Poppy's question here, so I'm going to middle school and I've not talked to this girl in a year because I had to switch schools, but we were best friends. So yeah, I mean, if you haven't talked to this girl in a year, I think the best way to reconnect with her is to just jump into the things that you guys shared together. Maybe talk about the old times and the old classes and make fun of the teacher together, or talk about friends that you had in common. Try to bring back up a lot of those old fun memories. Try to bring back up a lot of those old fun memories that you guys shared, because that's going to make it a lot easier for them to kind of relive those moments and feelings that they once shared with you. And it'll help ease the awkwardness that you're going to potentially run into. So Simson says, why can't you be friends with your crush? That's a really good question, Simsons. I think sometimes people say things like, oh, you can't be friends, guys can't be friends with girls, like it just doesn't work because there's always sexual tension there. There's a lot of ideas behind that. And here's what I think. I think that in order to maintain a platonic friendship with someone that, you would think there's always sexual tension with, you have to consciously make the decision, hey, I'm going to interact with this person as a friend, and I'm not going to expect I'm not going to expect anything to develop romantically between the two of us. So it's a conscious decision to be friends with someone, especially if there's a sense of attraction there. You have to consciously decide, I'm not going to act on this intentionally. Dario says, I agree with you, Josh. Giving up with my crush is the best thing. Yep. Ryan, what's up, man? Cody, Josh drinking water is ASMR. All right, let's get some ASMR sounds in here, guys. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, like I said, going back to this very first point, the very first point here, guys, is that it's that, your crush may not be based on who you best connect with. So I think it's important for you to let go of your crush if you don't best connect with them. So what does that mean, best connect with them? And let's kind of dive into that a little bit. When I say best connect with someone, like if you don't connect with them, what does that mean? What I basically mean by that is that the two of you can have an easy flowing conversation, meaning when you approach them and you talk to them, they open up to you, they share things with you, you can share things with them. There's that ease of conversation. There isn't this awkwardness or just kind of this weird tension that you just want to leave the room or not be around them. There's this kind of flow that you have in conversation with them. Two is that you might have something in common with them. Maybe you guys have a shared hobby. You both like playing sports. You both like playing video games. You like Marvel movies, whatever it may be. That shared commonality is going to help bring you guys closer together. And the third one is that there's an attraction. If you guys have watched my my video on Tuesday, I kind of break down these specific things. Attraction to the person that you're talking to or you have a crush on is a key piece, right? Like if you're not attracted to them, then you're probably not going to continue talking to them in a romantic sense or try to build anything with them. But the romantic attraction, the having things in common, the ease of conversation, those are all the pieces I think that you need to develop a crush. That can actually lead to the next stage of what you want, right? So I think it's worth pursuing crushes that you have those three things in common with. You're attracted to them, there's an ease of conversation, and you have some things in common. Maybe it's you're both religious and you both love going to church, or maybe you both love the same musical artist, whatever it may be. So I want to ask you guys here, we're going to do a chat poll. what do you and your crush have in common? No, actually, let me rephrase that. Which of those three things would you say is mutual between you and your crush? You're both attracted to each other, you both have things in common with each other, or there's an ease of conversation when talking to each other. If you don't have any of those, right? Nothing. I got nothing in the chat, but I want to know what you guys have in common there amongst those three things. Because I know for a lot of my crushes, they were just physical and they were missing the other two components. And because they were missing the other two components, those crushes never went anywhere because I just couldn't talk to them. I couldn't develop any type of connection with them. So let's see what some of you guys are saying in here. Cody says, we love food. Yep, food is an easy and wonderful thing to connect with someone over. If you both love the same type of restaurants or places to eat, it's a great thing to start with. Ace Blade says nothing. Got nothing in common here. Yeah. Let's see. Benji Leon Ginger says we like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, look, if you guys have a show in common that you both like, that's an easy way to start talking to your crush. Talk to them about that show. Pull catchphrases from the show. Make inside jokes about that. Lucas says we both have things in common. Awesome, Lucas. Scrublord says we are attracted to each other. That's awesome, Scrublord. If you're both attracted to each other, the next step really is to develop a deeper connection with them because that's going to make the crush worth sticking to. You want to keep that crush there. Emma Peterson says we both love music and humor. I'm just tongue-tied here. I think it's too hot in this room. We both love music and humor. Emma, that is awesome. That's an awesome thing to share with someone. Dylan says you both have hobbies in common. Yeah. Let's see. Jose says we like playing video games. That's awesome. Video games is a great way to connect. Lucas says we like soccer a lot. That's really cool too. Yeah, sports is something that people get passionate about. So if you both like the same sports or even the same teams, that's a great thing to connect over. Jose says I love chocolate. Hey, if you both love chocolate, you might want to get her chocolate presents. Ask her to get you chocolate presents. Share what your favorite chocolate is with her, and ask her to do the same with you. Potterhead says, my crush and I love roller coasters, and almost all three are true. That's awesome, Potterhead. So if you have all three of those in common, you are both attracted to each other, there's an ease of conversation, and you guys have things in common, then I think it's time for you to ask her out. I think you guys are on that path. Air Mattress says we love the show Psych. Nigel Williams says my crush says mean things about me behind my back. See, Nigel, those are the type of crushes that I'm talking about. Those are the type of crushes I think that are worth giving up, because even though you may think they're really cute or really like them, if they're just not being a good person, or they show signs and red flags that, hey, like this person isn't really the kind of person that I want to get to know better because they just have really bad traits and habits, then that's the type of crush you want to let go of. And plus, it'll be so much better for you to let go of them, because once you're able to kind of let them go, you can start focusing on other people. So yeah, I see a lot of soccer balls in here from Awesome Gaming. So I want to jump now into the second point, guys, here. So looking at the second point here, why giving up your crush is the best thing for you to do is that, like I mentioned, if you're focused so much on this person, on this other person that you like, you tend to neglect your hobbies and your self-growth. I've seen this happen, guys. I've seen it happen to a lot of people. People will not pay attention in class and only focus on their crush or think about their crush. People will neglect talking to their friends or hanging out with their friends and just try to only spend time with their crush. What ends up happening sometimes is that when you have a deep, deep crush for someone, you tend to lose yourself a little bit. You tend to start to mold and try to change yourself in a way that only is going to get them to like you, right? You're willing to sacrifice pieces of yourself to get their attention. And that can be a bad road to lead yourself on, because when you're on that road where you're only focusing on your crush and you're only focusing on getting their attention, you tend to just give up key pieces that other people like about you, that your friends like about you, that you like about yourself. I've been in this position tons of times as well. Thinking back when I was in high school, guys, it was like, I would find myself in situations where I just want to be around my crush. So what that might mean is that I'd try to sit near my crush, but never talk to them. Or I'd see them in the hallways and I'd try to just like stand around them, even though I'd never talk to them. And I'm sure it made me come off looking super, super creepy. But at the end of the day, what I realized is that, I wasn't just having fun with my friends. I was so worried and nervous about things that I would kind of just like neglect the things that matter to me. Cody says, why are you still a tertiary YouTuber? You need to be primary. I agree, Cody. I agree. I want to hear what some of you guys are saying here, because I've been in this situation tons of times. I want to hear your stories. I'm going to do a chat poll here. I want to hear feedback from you guys. Have you ever sacrificed personal time for yourself, things that you'd want to do just so that you can do something for your crush, so you could spend time around your crush or spend time thinking about your crush? I'll give you guys a quick story of how I did that. I remember back in the day, my crush would this is back in the days of America Online, AOL, and I like when you go online, when you used to go online in AOL, like you couldn't use the phone or anything like that. So I remember my crush at the time, her mom blocked her from going on AOL, and she said, "Hey, can I go on your account?" So I would let her go on my account. I would just sit there and not go online, simply so my crush can use my account for me. Or look, for some of you guys, it might be letting your crush just use your phone just so that you can get close to them or spend time with them, or give up things just so that you can get their attention. I want to hear what some of you guys have to say. Xenon says, no, not really. Life of Burley says yes. Air Mattress says, I mean a little bit. Benji says back, my girlfriend keeps texting me. No problem, Benji. Hey, that's a good problem to have. Emma says, yes, I have. Typhoon says, oh, heck yeah. Cody says, no, not really. Samir says, yes. Josh, yes, he's been there before. Zuchan says, yes. Wisdom Gate says, yes, less sleep. Donna the Gamer says, nope, never been there before. Poppy says, that happened to me and my guy best friend didn't want to be friends. Let's see. Michael says, no, I don't really know. Ryan Raisin says, kind of. So another piece to that, guys, might not be also that, your crush actively takes away your personal time all the time, but it might also be that you spend all your time talking about your crush to your friends incessantly, to the point where you're just annoying them all because you're nonstop talking about your crush and seeing them and talking to them and interacting with them and the problems with them. Donna says, what is AOL? Is that a drug you kids did back then? AOL, man, back in AOL was way back when. But yeah, so I mean, that's something that can happen as well. When I talk about sacrificing a piece of yourself, it might be that you spend so much time with your friends just constantly talking about your crush that you don't really get to just be in the moment with your friends and enjoy that time with them. I remember for me back in the day, it's like one of my brother would do that all the time. There were girls that he'd want to talk to, and he would constantly talk about them and constantly obsess over them. And he wouldn't really be there hanging out with us. He would just be in his own mind, thinking about his crush, talking about his crush. And it can be annoying to be around someone who's constantly talking about the crush but never acting on it. So I want to ask another chat poll question here, guys. Have you ever annoyed your friends with talking about your crush? I've been there before. I've been on the receiving end and I've been on the doing end. Have you ever annoyed your friends with talking about your crush? Type a yes or no in the chat. I want to hear what you guys have to say. King Wolf says, should I still shoot my shot even though I know I don't have a chance with her? Plus, school is almost over. That's a good question, King Wolf. I think I've done a video on that. If you want to check it out, asking out your crush before school ends, or the things that you need to do before school ends, you should definitely check that out. It's a recent video too. So I asked you guys, have you ever annoyed your friends with talking about your crush? And some of you guys had to say. Cody says, not really. They enjoy the conversations. That's awesome. Awesome Gaming says, Josh, I have a video suggestion. You should do how to kiss your crush. Awesome Gaming, I did that video with Coco Chanel on YouTube, so you should just search it up. I share my tips. She shares her tips. It was a really awesome video, and I did a video on her channel too about that. We break down kissing and how to go for it and pretty much how to get the courage to do it. Let's see. Typhoon says, oh, definitely. Wisdom Gatekeeper says, of course. TV and Sin says, yes. Potterhead says, yes. Lucas says, my friends annoy me about my crush. That's another piece of it too. Your friends might annoy you too. Marcus says, Josh, what does AOL mean? AOL means America Online. So before the internet was just plug it into the wall and everything's Wi-Fi, you used to have to plug a wire from your computer into the telephone wire, and that's how you'd connect to the internet. Pretty much in like the 90s to early 2000s. Oh, this light is dying. Okay, let's see. Says, yes, Dave, have you told me? Poppy says, nope. Air Mattress says, oh my God, totally do. They tease me about it. Yeah, your friends may tease you about it too. Your friends may be the ones that constantly talk about your crush to you, and that can be super annoying as well. Emma says, yes, I have all the time, every day. Michael Pro says, yes. Potter said yes, kind of. Red Lightning says, why did you start 30 minutes late? Well, I had a work meeting that lasted till 5:30, so I had to jump on the live stream once that ended. So yeah, so like I said, one of the second reason why giving up your crush is the best thing that you can do is because you end up neglecting your hobbies. You end up focusing so much on your crush and talking so much about your crush. You're not dedicating time to yourself. You're not really trying to grow as an individual and develop yourself in some kind of way. Instead, you're just too focused on really, like getting with your crush and making something work, that you kind of sacrifice the other elements of your life. Which can be a sucky thing to do, and it can be really annoying for your friends to be on the receiving end of that. So Red Lightning's asking, is there going to be an Insta after party? So I'll fill you guys in on this. After this live stream, I'm going to be going live over on Instagram for, can you guys guess what it is? The Instagram after party. So all the cool kids are there. It's really awesome. All you got to do is follow me over on Instagram. My Instagram is @thejoshspeaks. Follow me over there. You'll get notified after this live stream for the after party, guys. It's a little bit more laid back. I bring you guys on to video chat. It's pretty cool. I love doing both of these live streams back to back. So I want to answer some of you guys' questions here. So when we talk about giving up on your crush, I want to know what your guys' situations are. Do you feel like you're in a place where you've been chasing your crush for so long and you're just wondering, is it time to just give up on them? Is it time to move on? Is it time to let go? I know a lot of you guys, pretty much all of you guys, are at the end of the school year, and you might be thinking, should I hold on to this crush, or should I keep trying to ask out this person even though school's going to end? That could be an incredibly tough decision to make and an incredibly tough position to be in. But I want to hear what your guys' stories are. TV and Sin says, Josh, can you do a video on how to achieve your dreams? So I did a video similarly on that topic with the YouTuber Evan Carmichael. You should definitely check it out. It's an interview I did with him. We talk about getting motivated and going after the things that you want. It's an awesome video. I think you should definitely check it out. So let's see what some of you guys have having to say. If you have a personal story that relates to that idea of whether or not you should give up your crush, type it in the chat here. I want to hear what you guys are saying. Oh, Cody's breaking out the bananas. Not yet, Cody. Not yet. Let's see. Dylan says, a girl I like shares the same interests as me, and she knows I like her, but she has a boyfriend. She knows I like her, but she says I'm like a brother to her. I can't and don't want to get over her. So you mentioned the key piece here. It isn't that she has a boyfriend. It isn't that she sees you as a brother. It's that you can't and don't want to get over her. And this is the main thing that I see a lot of people run into. If I tell someone, hey, look, it looks like things aren't going to work out with your crush. They're in a relationship. They just don't like you like that. They live too far from you. You never see them. You never interact with them. It's probably best for you to move on. People don't want to let go. Now, the term that I kind of pulled in, that not my original term, but a term that I've heard that I use a lot, is the term of oneitis. Having oneitis for someone basically is being so obsessed with your crush, liking them so much that you're unwilling to listen to any kind of rhyme or reason as to why you should break up with them or give up on them. I think a lot of people develop oneitis, especially when the crush is like a super hard romantic crush on someone, because the last thing you want to do is distance yourself from them. You want to get closer to them. And you feel like, well, why should I give it up, right? Even though she has a boyfriend, even though she only sees me as a brother, why should I give it up? Well, I would say the reason why you should give it up is simply because, like I said, going through the first two reasons here, you're focusing on someone who doesn't want to be with you, who doesn't share those same feelings. If the girl said she sees you as a brother, that means that she only views you in a very, very platonic way. She doesn't have any romantic feelings for you. She doesn't feel that way about you. And because of that, you're going to be chasing something that's not going to go anywhere. So I think it's important to start asking yourself, is it time? Is it time for me to let her go? It's a real important question. And I think that the answer you're going to come to is yes. Donna says, I will never give up on my crush. I don't obsess over my crush, but I do find her cute. Yeah. So here's what I mean by that. So look, you may have a crush in the sense that you think someone's cute and you kind of like them, and you're always going to fantasize a bit about them or think about them. When I say give up your crush, I'm talking about when it starts to affect your life in a way that it's holding you back from doing other things. Like I said, if it's a crush on someone that you know is bad for you, that's not a good person to crush on. Your time is much better spent looking for someone that you can develop something with, or you can grow something with. I know a lot of people maybe don't want to hear that, but it's probably the best thing for you to do. And in the next 2 points, I'm going to kind of break down a little bit more as to why. Samir says, Josh, if your crush likes you, does she If your crush likes you, does she be touching you constantly or keep calling me in class every minute? So if your crush is constantly calling you, if your crush is constantly touching you, she's very physical with you and interactive with you, that might be a sign that she's interested in you. Now, it doesn't mean that she's interested in a romantic sense, that she deeply wants to go out with you or anything like that, but it might just be her way of being fun and flirty and just enjoying her time around you and with you. So it's important to ask yourself, well, if she's interacting with me in this type of way, if she's physical with me in this type of way, what can I do to advance that? Maybe it's asking her out. Maybe it's making a move, going for a kiss, doing something that's going to kind of test the limits to see what is she comfortable with. Can we move to that next step together? Vera's SKR says, last day of school, last day seeing the crush. We're going to go to different schools. Yeah. So Vera, that's a good point. School is coming to an end for a lot of you, like I said, and you might be wondering, well, what do I do? What do I do, guys? Do I ask them out, like today? Do I tell them how I feel before school ends? This is a tough question. It's a tough question to answer because I think it differs for everyone. In some ways, you might be telling yourself, well, maybe I should just come clean and tell my crush that I like them, just so that I can get it off my chest, just so I can know that I did it and I tried it and it's out there. And then there's the other side, which says, well, what's the point? If you tell them that you like them, you don't have any time to develop anything with them. You're not going to see them again. Maybe it's best to just let bygones be bygones and move on. So I'm a bit torn on this because I think it depends on the circumstance and the situation. But I want to hear your guys' opinion. Let's do another chat poll here because I want to know. If school is ending for you, do you think that it makes sense to tell your crush how you feel or to just let it go? You guys can write, tell them how you feel or let it go here in the chat. I want to see what the balance is here. I think what I want to do in the future is I'm going to figure out a way to implement actual polls. So I can press 1 or 2 on my keyboard and it'll show a poll letting me know where people stand. But yeah, I mean, I want to know where you guys stand on that. So TV Instant says, I've been watching your old videos just out of curiosity. When did you stop swearing? I'm not really sure. Maybe around like 2015 or 16 or something like that. Ultimately, what I realized is that I wanted my videos to be searchable and found by everyone. And I felt like throwing in curses just for jokes and stuff here and there kind of turned some people off and also prevented my videos from being seen in school. I know a bunch of my videos are seen in classrooms. So I wanted to always give that opportunity for teachers to use it without having to worry about curses in there. So I asked you guys, does it make sense to tell them or does it make sense to just let it go? And here's what you guys had to say. Lucas says, tell her how I feel. Dylan says, tell them how you feel. Sonic says yes, which I'm assuming is tell them how you feel. Anthony says nope. I make the move and ask them out on the last day. Anthony would go for it too. Ask him out. Full on take the step there. Oscar says tell her. Cody says let it go on and talk over the summer. That's also an interesting point, Cody. Blueberry says I told him I like him last week. Scrublord says tell them how you feel because after that it doesn't matter. Poppy says let it go and tell her next year. Samir says, yes, I will tell my crush because I just want to know if I get rejected, if I understand. But Michael says, tell him how you feel. It seems like we're leaning very heavily on tell him how you feel, guys. Dono says, depends on how close you are to them. That is very true, Dono. It does depend. Nisha says, tell him how I feel. Typhoon says, tell him. I found it really hard to get over her until I told her. Mistress says, it depends how much I like her, how much I know her. Ryan says, no, because she might block me. Jose says, let it go because she likes my best friend more. Cheyenne says, can you start making videos based on summer? Absolutely, Cheyenne. Now that school's coming to a close, I'm going to be focusing more on videos for the summer. Like I mentioned in the previous live stream, I'm going to be doing a 30-day challenge for you guys, things that you can do every single day to kind of work on your social skills, to kind of improve things in your own life so that when you start school again, you are going to be super ready for it, super ready to take on the world. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys, like I said, lean very heavy towards telling them how you feel, which I think is a normal thing to want to do, right? There's something about getting it off of your chest, something about just putting out there into the world, because putting out there into the world is like you're taking a chance. Either it goes somewhere or it doesn't. I would probably lean on that side too. I don't think that you guys should hold it in and hold it back to yourself. Now, it depends also on the situation, because there might be times where you don't really know your crush that well. In fact, you don't really know them at all. Does it make sense to just tell this random person you like them and go on with your day? Or does it make sense to kind of use the summertime to work on yourself? So when you see them at the beginning of the school year, you could present your new self to them and really let that shine. It really all depends on your situation, guys. But I want to jump into the third third, this is three, this is three, not this. The third point here, which is when we talk about why giving up your crush is the best thing that you can do, I would say a big part of that is so that you can pursue new crushes. Now, look, obviously, we're not saying like if you have one crush, you can't have another crush. You can have multiple crushes at once. I've had tons of crushes at once. I in high school, I liked tons of girls, like 20 girls at once, all for different reasons. Some girls I thought were like super hot. Some girls I thought were super interesting. Some girls I connected with. You can have lots of different crushes, but like I said, when you focus only on one crush and you focus only on pursuing one crush, you tend to neglect pursuing other crushes as well. And this is where a lot of people make that mistake, because if you, let's say, for example, are talking to one crush and they're interactive with you, you might just not really think, well, how can I get closer to this other person, right? You only have so much time that goes around. And that time is going to be spent either focusing all in on one person or spreading it out over multiple people. So I want to ask you guys a question here. I want to ask you guys a question here. We'll do another chat poll. Do you guys have only one crush, or do you have multiple crushes? If you have more than one crush, write the number in the chat. I want to know how many crushes you currently have, because that's going to help us figure out. That's going to help us really figure out how you could proceed with this. Because if you have multiple crushes, guys, if there are multiple people that you like, what's holding you back here? What's holding you back from going after them? So let's hear what you guys have to say. Oscar says one crush. Dylan says one crush. Lucas says one crush. Red Lightning, one crush. Cody has two. Modern Bros, I have like 7 or so. That's a lot of crushes. Slayer says 1. Dono says 3. Dono, my man. Wisdom Gatekeeper says 1 crush. I can't have 2 at the same time. Interesting. Lewis says too many. Slayer says 3, actually. Emma Peterson says, I only have 2 crushes. Typhoon says 4 at the moment. Benji says, I can't even read that number. It's like 1 zillion crushes. Jose says, I have 3, but now I have 0. What happened? What happened, Jose? Dario says multiple, including on Instagram, that I've never met them in person. Yeah, that tends to happen a lot. You develop crushes, especially with people on Instagram. Cody says, well, 1 major and 1 minor. That makes sense. Scrublord says, I just like a lot of girls and go for whichever one I relate with the most. That's fair. Michael Pro says 2. He has 2 crushes. Samir, I have 3 crushes. Dono says Beyonce. Now that's a crush I believe you can get, man. I believe in you. Screw Jay-Z. Who needs him? Blue says, I also have many crushes too. It's not only me, 3, at least 5, almost a day, new crushes. Okay, so you have a new crush almost every single day. That's totally normal. That happens. King Wolf says, I have 2, but now I've moved on from the other one. Slayer says maybe 4. So we got a bunch in here. Potterhead says 1. Ash's Chest about 3. George says people who have more than 1 are foul. George, I totally disagree. I think it's totally normal to like different people. You like different people for different reasons, right? Like you might just be attracted to someone physically. You might think that someone else is cute. You might think someone else is interesting. There's lots of different reasons to have lots of different crushes, but there's a bunch of you guys that said you had only 1 crush, and then a lot that said you have multiple crushes. So for those of you that have multiple crushes, I'll speak to that group first. I want you guys to really start thinking about how you can spend a little bit more time talking and getting closer to those other crushes, because realistically, and I've been there before, I know what it's like, you are prioritizing one crush over the others. Realistically, there's one person that you do like a little bit more than the others, and because of that, you're spending more time talking to them, more time interacting with them, more time thinking about them. And the reason why I say giving up your crush is the best thing you can do is because if you focus less on that specific crush, it allows you to say, well, you know what? Maybe if I got to know this other person a little bit better, we can actually develop something even stronger than I have with the crush I like more right now. Donna says, I have a new crush every day. Everyone is so hot. You're right. That's the quote of the stream right there. That's a great quote. Hey, Kip, good to see you. Benji says, you are a crazy boy. Yeah, so, you're Kip Neal. Oh, good to see you, man. King Wolf says the chat is full of nice people. Hope y'all get the person you want. Awesome, King Wolf. Thank you for jumping in, man. I truly appreciate it. Brian says, I pretty much won every school year. Yeah, that happens, right? You start a new school year, you're going to start developing new crushes. It's just something that happens. But like I said, So for those of you that have multiple crushes, start to divvy up your time a little bit more. Start to talk more to your different crushes and really try to diversify the amount of time you spend with them. And because if you don't, then you're just going to prioritize one, and then you're not really going to give yourself the opportunity to develop things that could actually turn into full-scale relationships. Now let's talk to the people who have one crush, only one crush. There's only one person on your mind, one person you're thinking about. I think that that's okay. It's okay to have one crush, but I think that you might actually be limiting yourself in some kind of way. And the reason why I say that is because while you may not have crushes on other people, you may have opportunities to develop closer relationships with other people. And I think that's a big step to take. If you only have one crush and you're only talking to them and you're only trying to think about how to get with them, you might just not be taking other opportunities to get closer to people and develop better relationships. You know, I remember when I was in middle school, right? There was a girl that I really, really liked, like I had a huge crush on, and I would always talk to her, or like any opportunity I could, I would talk to her. But there was a girl that liked me. Now I would talk to her every so often. I kind of liked her, but I didn't really talk to her as much. She was all in. She really liked me. But the girl I liked, like I had a super crush on, didn't really care. She had lots of guys to talk to. So I spent all my time focusing on that one person when all along someone liked me. I could have developed a better relationship with her. I could have gotten to know her better. I could have ended up liking her more and developing something there, but I missed the opportunity simply because I focused only with my horse blinders on one person. So that's the third point. Let's get on to the fourth point, guys. The fourth reason why giving up your crush is the best thing that you can do is because you will gain more social experience if you allow yourself to be out there more. What ends up happening a lot of times is that, in some instances, you may not be the most social person. Cody, I'm gonna have a poll coming up here. In social situations, you may not be the most social person. Maybe you keep to yourself a little bit. And when you're around your crush, you lock up. You don't know what to say. You get nervous. You get shy. And every time you're around your crush, you just lock up and you just don't know how to interact with them. So let's do a chat poll here per Cody's request. When you are around your crush, do you feel nervous or do you feel confident? You can either write nervous or confident in the chat. I want to see what you guys have to say. I know there's a bunch of you in here that I know are confident. I know for a fact are confident. But I want to hear. I want to know who here feels nervous when they're around their crush and who here feels confident when they're around their crush. Cody says both. Lucas says nervous. Red Lightning says nervous, all caps there. Air Mattress says both. TK Podcast says a go. So I'm assuming that's response to something. Dario says both. Scrub says, I get really nervous. TK Podcast says confident. TV Instant says nervous. Jose says, I feel like both. Yeah, I hear you on that, guys, on the both part. Dylan says, very, very nervous. Oscar says both. Emma Peterson says, I feel nervous. Mistress says, very nervous because she's always with her friends. Yeah, that's a hard one, man, when they're always with their friends. Vera says confident. Life of Burley says confident, really confident. Samir says, I mostly feel confident. That's awesome. Sam Smith says confident apart from telling how I feel. Wisdom Gatekeeper says nervous but confident going to her for some little chat. Yeah, I hear you on that. Joshua Chen says both. Sonic Mania says very, very nervous. Ryan says a mix of both, but I used to be super nervous. Maybe I'm losing interest in her. Yeah, I hear you on that too, Ryan. Oh, someone's at the door. I think it's a male. But yeah, like I said, guys, there are times where you can get nervous, times where you feel confident. It seems like there's a mix in here. A lot of you guys said both. So it probably is depending on the situation when you're around them, when you're alone with them. The reason why I say that you can gain more social experience by giving up on your crush is that if being around your crush is making you feel nervous and making you not feel confident in yourself, you might prefer to just be around them and be nervous versus putting yourself in other situations where you can interact and you can work on your social skills. So let me explain. I'm going to get the door after this live stream, guys. This live stream is going to run till 6:30. I started at 5:30. I'm going to run till 6:30. Then I'm jumping on the Instagram after party. But I do want to say this, guys, that I want to share a story with you when it comes to that idea of not really being social, not giving yourself the opportunity to be social because you focus on your crush. I remember back when I was in high school, I had a crush on a girl that went pretty much rode the same bus as me every single day, right? She'd get on the bus in the morning, she'd get on the bus after school. We'd both take the same bus after school and before school. And every single day I'd see her and I'd be super, super nervous. I'd so afraid of her. I'd get cold feet. I would look at her and stare at her. And then when she'd look back at me, I'd look away. I'd run into these moments where it's like, I want to talk to her, but I'm just not taking the opportunity. I'm just not doing it. So what did I do? Well, what ended up happening was I ended up holding myself back from being social, right? There were other kids on the bus that were in my class or that talked to me every so often. But because I was just so focused on my crush, I would just not be social. I would not put myself out there and get to know other people better. And this happened a lot when I'd see my crush in the hall and I'd be around other people. I just held myself back from being confident and feeling confident and being social simply because I just worried about my crush so much. I worried about what my crush was thinking about me or when they were looking at me or what they were saying about me. And if you put so much stress on yourself because you like someone, if that crush is bringing you stress in your life, they're not worth having. They're not worth pursuing, guys. So I want to do another chat poll here and get your guys' opinion on this. Have you ever felt like being around your crush made you a more social person or a less social person? Now, this is different from confident and nervous here. When I say a more social person, it's that just being around your crush, it was easier to talk to people, or being around them is what made you lock up. So maybe it's your crush is hanging out in a group of people and you just were less social because your crush were there. Or when your crush is there around a group of people, you're more social. It's easier for you to open up and to talk to your crush. So see what some of you guys have to say. Cody says less social. Lucas says more social. Mistress says less social. Slayer says more social, I think. Bluey says less social. TK Podcast says social. Dylan Cardone says less social. Emma Peterson, less social. Phoenix says, oh yeah, more social. Scrub says, I become a more social person, but I'm also nervous. I hear you on that, Scrub. Life is Burley says, yes, way more social because it pushed me to talk more. That makes sense. That makes sense. Typhoon says, yeah, I'm a lot more daring around them and crack more jokes. That's something that definitely happens. Dono says more social. Samir says, a more social person, try not to act weird. Try not to act weird, he said. Dario says, would your life like the movie Superbad, Josh? Honestly, I've never seen Superbad. People quote it a lot and people talk about it a lot, and I still haven't watched it. I feel like I'm behind the curve. I need to sit down one day and watch it. Red Lining says, less social. She says hi to me every day. Ryan says, more because our friend groups kind of merged. Avery says, more social for sure. I open up a lot whenever we all play volleyball. Yeah, that can happen, definitely. Andy Rivas says, I should ask trying to teach me Vietnamese. I'll teach you Spanish and English. So that way it'll be more easier to speak to each other's families. It'll be a blast. Cool, man. Simson says, fake it till you make it. That's a piece to it. There's definitely a piece to faking it till you make it, guys. Jose says, yes, because she is funny, loyal, and social. I know, guys, I'm missing out. I haven't seen Superbad yet. But like I said, so by letting go of those expectations with your crush, you end up being a more social person because you're not so worried about what this person is thinking about you. And I think a lot of times we do worry, right? We want our crush to like us back. It's just a normal reaction, a normal feeling to have. But if it's holding you back from being social with other people, then it's not being productive. Now, one thing I do want to mention, guys, here, when we talk about feeling awkward or being in an awkward situation and not knowing how to handle it, I want to talk about my book, Embracing the Awkward, here. I know some of you guys know that I have it. Some of you don't know. This is a book I wrote called Embracing the Awkward. It's a guide for teens to succeed at school, life, and relationships. The cover says that. But basically, in this book, I break down stories from my life, experiences I've had, different ways to embrace the awkward. You know, some of the chapters cover dealing with rejection, how to feel confident, how to start a conversation with someone, how to find your path and purpose in life, different things like that. So very shameless plug. I just wanted to share with you guys. Dono, thank you so much for sharing the link. The joshspeaks.com/awkward will take you guys to the link. It's available on Amazon, but I think it'll be an important resource for you to check out if you haven't already. You can either order the book or the ebook is available through Amazon. I think this book would be super helpful for you guys in learning how to be more social, how to feel more confident and comfortable around your crushes. Something I definitely wanted to share with you guys because I think you need to hear it. I think it'll be super important for you. But yeah, so I want to kind of run through the 4 points again here. But before I do that, I want to ask you guys a question here. I know that school is ending for you guys. For some of you guys, it's already done. I know some of you guys, today was your last day or tomorrow's your last day. So I want to ask you guys this question. If you have a story right now, if you have a situation you're in where You don't know if it makes sense for you to keep pursuing your crush or for you to give up on your crush. Write it in the chat right now. Try to keep it brief so I can kind of answer it. But let me know, guys, right now in the chat. Are you in a situation where you just don't know what to do with your crush? You're at a standstill. You don't know how to carry forward. Let's see what you guys had to say. All right, Vera, good to see you. TV Sin says, have you ever seen the TED Talk about emotional first date? I haven't. I should definitely check that out. Let's see. Ryan Raison says, my friends and family will bully me if I get a book that has tips for getting in relationships. Ryan, that's so horrible. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I think that you have to understand, it's not so much getting tips on relationships. That's a chapter in this book. It really talks more about how to be a more social person. I think that if your friends and your family are going to make fun of you for that, I think that that's more of a reflection of them not wanting to learn and grow rather than you. You know, I remember, I'll tell you guys a quick story. I'm sorry, I know I want to answer questions, but when I first bought the book, The Game is a book all about like dating and pickup artists and all these things. I remember I had it in college and I was telling my friend, oh, I'm reading this book, The Game. And he's like, you're reading a book about how to talk to girls. You need help with that. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's really cool that I'm learning and I want to grow and I want to better myself. And he thought it was such a shameful thing to be reading a book about how to talk to girls. And I remember thinking in college, why would I ever feel ashamed about wanting to improve myself? That's the last thing you should ever feel ashamed about. So if you're ashamed of buying this book, let them know, guys, like, what is the problem with working on improving yourself? That's the best thing anyone can ever try to do. I want to answer 2 or 3 questions in here, see what you guys are saying about your situation. Let's see. Okay, so let's take Simson says, if you're going to go out to eat with the small group and your crush is going to be there, what do you talk about? From work, how can you get them one-on-one? All right, Simson, that's a good question. If you're in a group and you guys are going out to eat and it's for work, I would bring up a question that you can kind of get an opinionated answer on. So Simpsons, this is another plug, but I want to share with you. You should definitely check out my icebreaker conversation starters. Just go to thejoshspeaks.com/ice-breakers. And it's a free guide I put together, which gives you conversation topics. I think those are the perfect things to bring up in conversation. You know, things like, if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? Or if you could only watch one movie for the rest of your life, what would it be? Or if you can, you know, what's your favorite food? What's like one food you can never live without? These type of questions are going to help spark conversations. And depending on what your crush says or the person you work with, it's a good way to kind of do the bad cop, good cop with them. So if they say, oh, my favorite food is, I don't know, Thai food, you say, Thai food? Really? Come on. You tell me you can live without pizza. Like, you can play off of that and have a fun conversation with them. Dono says, yes, I'm stuck. She has a boyfriend. Dono, yeah, straightforward, man. If she's got a boyfriend and you don't know what to do from there, that's a tough one. I think you run into a few situations. I would probably recommend move on from that crush. Maybe not 100%, but move on in terms of where you're spending your time and your energy and, you know, like how you're investing that into her. A lot of times people say, yeah, they have a boyfriend, but I want to get closer to them. I want to be a closer friend. I think your time is better spent pursuing other people. Cody says, we shared one class, so we didn't talk much, but we both have Insta. What do I do? Cody, if you only have the ability to talk to her on Insta, I know school's coming to an end for you, but if you have the ability to talk to them on Instagram, the best thing to do to be interactive with them is comment on their pictures, tag them on things that you think are relevant to them, respond to their stories, be interactive with the content that they're posting, because that's going to show them that you're paying attention to them, that you are interested in them, and that's going to help spark a conversation. So if the person you like posts a story over on Instagram and they're just like, hey, me, I don't know, at the beach, you could say, man, I haven't gone to the beach in so long. You know, like, what's it like out there? Is it hot? Is there a lot of people? You can ask questions about the things that they post and you can start conversations like that. Andy Rivas says, who knows which outfit she'll have when I see her? She's still cute, even if her outfit's different. I don't know what that relates to. Ashley Trash says, not really. I can't date a straight person. So you can't date a straight person. I'm not sure what that's. Maybe there's a first piece to that I missed. Emiliano says, she always goes back to liking her guy friend who has a girlfriend, and I'm trying to prevent that from happening. That's a good point. So if your crush has a guy friend that they're constantly thinking about wanting to get back with, and they're obsessed with, They need to learn how to get over their crush. Now, how do they learn to get over their crush? Well, the best way to help them get over their crush is for you to be a just awesome person to be around. Be funny, be confident, be romantic, be flirty. Invite them out to do things with you. Just be an all-around awesome person. The more time you spend with them, the more personal moments you share, the easier it's going to be for them to start to say, well, I'm just going to kind of move away from this other crush, which is I can't get with. I'm going to focus on the person who's actually fun to be around. All right, let's get one more question in here, and then I'm going to jump to Cody. Hold those bananas. No bananas yet. We're almost there. You can launch the bananas when I go into my my wrap up. All right, last question here. Slayer says, my crush also has a boyfriend. She says hey to me in the halls, and we have short conversations, but I'm trying not to get too close and enter the friend zone. But should I just drop her? That's a good question, Slayer. Honestly, I think that if your crush has a boyfriend, you only have these short conversations, your time is better spent focusing on other people. Should you drop her? Maybe for now, that's the best thing to do. Focus on her less. I know you want to maintain a friendship, but like it's okay to say hi to someone and have a small conversation, but try to mentally focus yourself on, you know what? Why am I going to just really dive into this one person who I can't be with when I can just put myself out there and try to talk to more people? I'm going to just approach different girls and start conversations and just really get to know people better, because that's going to help improve your social skills. It's going to help you just be an overall more confident person. All right. I want to jump. This is the wrap up, guys. I want to jump into the 4 points here again, just to kind of bring it all together here. When I talk about giving up your crush and why that's the best thing for you to do, I think the reason for that is simply this, that if you're focused only on one crush, you're limiting your opportunity to grow and develop other crushes and to see where it can go. So looking at the 4 points here, your crush may not be based on who you best connect with. Sometimes we have crushes on people that are just bad for us, or people that are unattainable, or that they're in a relationship, or they go to a different school, or they're only online and we're never going to see them in person. If your crush is on someone that is just unattainable, you're not allowing yourself to find someone that you can deeply connect with. And that deep connection is what's going to make the major difference, guys. Number 2, you tend to focus more on your crush, and you tend to neglect your hobbies. This is something that happens a lot. People become so obsessed with their crush that they stop being themselves. They stop doing the things that they like. They talk about their crush incessantly, and it annoys their friends, and their friends are like, geez, stop talking about it so much. Or, you don't feel comfortable doing the things that you want because you're afraid your crush is going to be there, or your crush might say something, or you're too worried about what they're thinking. The third point, you limit your opportunity to pursue new crushes. When you focus so much on one person, you're not allowing other relationships to develop and grow. So I think it's much better to tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to put myself out there and talk to more people. So many bananas. I'm going to put myself out there and talk to more people, because that's going to give me the opportunity to really just see who I can best connect with. Who knows? Maybe the person you have a primary crush on isn't the best person for you, and they're not the person you're going to get along with the best. You need to put yourself out there to see who that person might be. And the fourth one is that you gain more social experience by letting go of your crush. Sometimes we get so nervous and afraid of how our crush is thinking about us and perceiving us that we worry to no end. We worry that they're not going to like us. Or if I'm reading a book about bettering myself and learning how to grow and develop friendships, and look, 5 people, 5 expectations, 5 changes you want to be accepting of. Like, these are important things to know, guys. If you're afraid that your crush or your friends or someone's not going to be approving of that, then that's not the person you really want to incorporate into your life. So those are the 4 reasons why I think you should give up your crush. Now, look, there are plenty of situations and plenty of times where you shouldn't give up your crush. And that's another live stream and another topic. But in this live stream, I really wanted to dive into why you guys deserve more. You deserve more, better relationships, more interactive kind of communication with others, just a better social life overall. And I think that the only way you're going to get that is by letting go of this stronghold you have, this oneitis you have for this one crush, and putting yourself out there more. So I see so many bananas in here, guys. So many bananas. Oh, there's some cherries in there too, and a watermelon. All right, I'm going to answer one more question before I go here, guys. Emiliano says, don't mention that you are from England a lot. It can make others see you as someone annoying. I guess so. Okay. Let's take one more question here. Isaiah Barga says, I hugged my crush after school ended. Yeah, guys, look, and I want to just kind of end it on this point here. If school is ending for you guys and you only have a limited amount of time to talk to your crush, it's up to you to decide, does it make sense to ask them out? Does it make sense to talk to them? Does it make sense to tell them that I like them? I have a bunch of videos that will help you out with that. So you should definitely search through my library and see what's there. Dono shared an important link for you guys too. There is a Josh Speaks community that I want you to be a part of. The link right there is to the Discord, the joshspeaks.com/Discord. There's a lot of awesome people in the Josh Speaks community that are there to help each other. A lot of great conversations going on, people asking for advice and people being there for each other. I want you guys to know that you're not alone in your experience, that there are other people. Look at the chat. Look at all the people that are here. These are people that are working towards being their best selves just like you are. So don't limit your ability to communicate and develop friendships. Join the Josh Speaks community. It's a great way to meet people just like you. Thank you guys so much for being on this live stream. I'm going to jump on Instagram right now. I'm going to go live over on Instagram. So if you're not following me over on Instagram, what are you doing, guys? You're going to miss the Instagram after party. It's always so much fun. Join me over on Instagram. Go follow me over there, guys. On that note, I will catch you next time. As always, guys, love and peace. See you then.